Hi there. I've been reading on the forums, wet shave forums. There's a small but very dedicated group of guys on the wet shave forums who are really enthusiastic about cold water shaves. They say things like, it tightens your skin up and so lets you get a closer shave, or it's less irritation, or I've even heard a cold face and a warm razor, or a warm face and a cold razor. Somehow this affects the closeness of a shave and all these kind of things. So, I've been using hot towels on my face before my shaves as a pre-shave treatment. I really like the way that it feels. And this is recommended by a lot of barbers, and you hear this more than anything else, hot towels, a hot shower before you shave, that kind of deal, and it prepares your whiskers and all of this other stuff. So I thought, why not test out the cold water claims and see, for myself whether or not, there's any validity to them. Now, I'm not going to say that this test that I'm fixing to perform is definitive. I'm not an expert. I haven't claimed to be an expert. I think it would be a long, long time of me doing wet shaving and stuff like that, 20 or 30 years before I could really claim to be an expert at anything. So I'm just a guy that's looking to get the best shave that he can and kind of sharing my journey as much as I can on YouTube and stuff like that. So let's get that out of the way to start with. I'm not an expert, not claiming to be an expert. This is not a definitive test. These are my opinions. As I go about this shave, that's what I'm going to give, is my opinion, and that's it. So I thought, why not do it as cold as I can? So what I've done, I filled my sink with water as cold as I could get it from the tap. And I put a towel in that water and let it set. It's been setting for about 5 minutes now. This is what I do at the beginning of the shaves with hot water. And I do this at the end of the shaves with cold water towels. And I have found that that does help to lessen irritation. So what I'm going to do, I've already whipped up some lather. I'm trying to save some time. I'm using CO Bigelow or Proraso green. It's got eucalyptus, and the menthol in it. So it's got a very cooling effect. So I'm hoping that the coldness of the water and the towels, the coldness of the eucalyptus and the menthol in this shave will give me, a really cold face and a cold feel, and kind of, give me an idea. Is there any difference? Does it matter? So we're going to go ahead and get into the shave. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my towel, and this is going to take a little bit of time. You guys can fast forward if you want to, but I'm going to take this towel that's been sitting in this cold water. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my face with Irish Spring just to make sure that it's clean. Then we'll talk about the towels. So I've got hard water. So the soap lathers, but it's hard sometimes to see it on the camera because it doesn't do a spectacular lather job. But there is lather on my face from the Irish Spring. And I want a clean face, so that if I nick myself or cut myself or anything like that, my face is clean. And then I'm going to take this towel, I'm going to dip it in this cold water. And I'm going to do like I would with the hot towels. I'm going to set this towel up against my face. I'm going to push up underneath my jaw so that it's up against my skin there, and I'm going to draw it across my chin tightly, and I'm going to stand here a little bit and let this towel cool my face. And when the towel begins to warm up because of the warmth of my skin, then I'm going to take the towel down. I'm going to dip it in the water. And one of the things with this is if you don't wring the towel out super dry, it's colder. Now your shirt might get a little wet and stuff like that, but it's water. It'll dry. Everything will be good. But I want to get my face as cold as I can. Now, I could have went crazy and piled the sink full of ice cubes and then put cold water on top of that, but I really don't think that that's something that is feasible for an everyday kind of shave, you know. But I think this here would be very easy to do every day if I wanted to. It would be very easy to do what I'm doing right now. So let's see what the cold water shave is all about. And this is, like I said, this is what I do with hot water, and I do it 4 or 5 times until my face feels really comfortable. And I think that, you know, I'm ready to go ahead to the shave. So I'm going to do this 3, 4, 5 times until my face feels really cold. It's already pretty cold. But I want to go 1 or 2 more times. We'll see. This one here might be enough. But I want to get my face as cold as I can because I want to do this right and give every opportunity for a cold water shave to be successful. And I think this is going to be good right here. My face feels really cold, almost numb, which is kind of how it feels after the shave. When I do cold towel treatments after a shave, I usually do it until my face is basically numb. And that really helps cut down on irritation. So, okay, that's pretty cold. And I'm using my Simply Beautiful Pure Badger brush to lather up. This is mentholated, which should help with the chilling effect of what I'm going to do. Now that I've got this on my face, I just came up with a thought. One last time here, I'm going to throw a cold towel over this menthol and eucalyptus on my face, just to kind of push the cold level up another notch. Or like a guy on TV on the Food Network I used to love to watch, to kick it up a notch, you know. Just kick it up a little bit. Get a little bit more oomph to it. That right there. That's awesome. So, my face right now is as cold as I could possibly make it. Let's lather up with CO Bigelow. There we go. Now, let me rinse my hands off. Or dry my hands off, rather. Now, I'll take my Boker straight razor and we'll start this shave. And I'm going to pull that skin up. Everything the same as much as I can. Only difference is that my face has cold water on it. I don't really feel any difference in the feel of the razor. But it does kind of feel like my whiskers are a little bit stiffer, maybe. I don't know whether that is a good thing or a bad thing. But to me, it doesn't quite feel as comfortable as when I used hot towels. That's how, all of this is personal opinion. But what I'm really after with this test is, do I get a closer shave than my regular method? And is there less irritation? And I can tell you right now that it feels like to me I'm getting more irritation. But the alcohol aftershave splash that I use in the end is going to tell the story about irritation. That's the deal. That's how I tell whether or not I've had any irritation and how severe it is. It's by the burn of the alcohol aftershave. I know a lot of guys using Allen Block. I prefer the aftershave. It does basically the same thing. So that's pass number one. Let's try a second pass. Face still feels good and cold. I think the Bigelow is helping with that. I think that the menthol and the CO Bigelow is really pushing the cold a little bit, and that's good. So most of you know when I do cross grain like this, I know that some people go across this way or they go this way. This is the best way I have found for me to shave across the grain. I don't like the way the razor feels against my chin. I do believe that that is out. I believe I just cut myself there. I do believe, yep, I do believe that that is the feeling, the rough kind of feeling that I'm getting. Is a product of the cold water shave. So I can tell you that if that's the case, I don't know if I'm a fan or not. Excuse me, I need to get a styptic pen. And the nick that I just gave myself, and I have also opened a nick that I gave myself the other day. This nick should in no wise be attributed to a cold water shave. It happens. Doesn't matter what temperature the water is. Sometimes we nick ourselves. So I'm not going to blame the cold water for that. That's not the case. I don't believe so. Alright, there's my styptic pen. That's taking care of the bleeding. And now I need to put a little bit of cream back on my face right there where I brushed it off. And make sure I got it all. And switch my hands and do the other side. With, or against rather, against the grain. Or across the grain, not against the grain, across the grain. So that's pass 2. And that's pretty smooth, but not as smooth as, not any smoother rather than I would normally have on a second pass. However, I do notice that my skin grabs my fingers a lot more than normal, and that I would have to attribute that to the only thing that I know that has changed in my routine, and that's the fact that I'm using cold water. So some of the slickness of the soap is being affected by the cold water. In fact, in my experience, it feels like the slickness has been reduced because of the temperature of the water in my face, whatever. So that's something to think about. Let's try number 3. Now, like I said, if you're a cold water enthusiast, and I'm saying stuff that you're chomping at the bit to slap me down or whatever, you know. I don't have a problem with your opinion, as long as you don't have a problem with mine. You know, I'm going to give my opinion, and I'll quietly listen to your opinion as long as you quietly, politely listen to my opinion. But this is my video. These are my experiences, and I'm going to express what I think. That's the purpose of this video. Right now, I can tell you that I'm not liking cold water shave all that much. Now, watch the corner of the straight razor in this against the grain pass, because we want to keep our earlobe intact. So we come up by that earlobe carefully. Now, if my big nose would just stay out of the way of the knuckle on my thumb, you know, it'd be a lot easier. But and that's normal. I'm not going up over this part of my chin with a straight razor. It is not. It's more important to me that I don't slice myself open than it is that I maintain across against the grain over my chin contour. So I'll do an across the grain of my chin, which is what I normally do. Now, I just did an across the grain under my lip. That is not what I normally do there on this pass, so I'm going to make a correction. That's better. So hard. Watch it out here. Out here, earlobe, because we want to keep it. All of it. Alright. That's 3 passes with a straight. Let me look and see. Now, what I normally do, I'm going to follow my normal routine. My normal routine is to take this towel, this hand towel, and dip it in that cold water. And put it on my face. Now that eucalyptus from the 3 passes of that straight razor with that CO Bigelow cream has made my face really, really cool. When I put this towel on my face just then, it was like the thing had been in the freezer, which is normal when I use the Bigelow cream after shaving, even if I use hot water. So I want everything to be the same, except for the fact that I shaved with cold water. So this is my normal routine. And this is what I'm going to do. One more time. Then I'm going to check my face out and see what the difference is. Or not. Alright. Let's see. Okay, now, right here on my chin, and right here under my chin is incredibly smooth. But the last 3 or 4 shaves, that has been getting my shaves in general, especially with a straight razor, haven't been getting so close now that that's not any better than what I've been getting the last 3, 4 shaves. Just isn't. But it's really nice and smooth. Matter of fact, when I go back this way, it's a little bit less smooth than what I normally get. And my hands are grabbing the living daylights out of my skin. Can you hear that? That's got to be the cold water because it never did it before. I guess maybe that's a tightening of the skin. I don't know. A little bit of stubble here, but that is normal too. It's in line with a normal shave. So in my opinion, the cold water shave really gave me nothing when it comes to closeness. I've got no closer of a shave with cold water than I did using hot towels. And in my opinion, for me, the shave was not as comfortable as warm water, hot towels, all that deal. That's my opinion for me, but that's the results I'm getting. Now, I'm going to put me some balm on because that is what I normally do. I put a little bit of balm on and I let it dry. And then we'll go with an aftershave, an alcohol-based aftershave, and just see what the difference in irritation might be. If I get less irritation, that's something, that's a result, a different result from what normally I get. So I'm going to empty my sink and I'm going to wash my hands while I wait for that balm to dry. Let me go dry my hands. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hit myself with some aftershave lotion. Just because I want to, I'm going to use some Halston Z14, I think it's called. It's an alcohol-based aftershave. Alright. Well, I can tell you that there's much more irritation in my chin area, but I nicked myself this time. And so I have to take that into account. There is an open spot that I nicked myself. That's not the cold water's fault. That was my technique. I nicked myself with a razor. So I really can't. But now right in here, seems like there's more irritation. And I got some irritation, some burn here, but I always get a little burn here. So to me, it's a wash. I don't believe that the cold water gave me any advantage either in closeness of shave, comfort of shave. Matter of fact, for me it was the reverse. My warm water shaves are much more comfortable for me based on this one shave. And that's something you got to know. But this one shave is enough for me to say that I'm probably not going to try this again. And I didn't get any less irritation. It's possible that I may have gotten more, but I'm going to discount that because, like I said, I did nick myself right here real good. And I do get a little burn on my chin most of the time. It just feels like it's a little bit more right here than I normally get. But that's subjective, and it's not enough of a difference for me to definitively say, yeah, there's more irritation here. Either way, it would be minor and probably not anything more than I would encounter in an individual shave-by-shave basis. So for me, my results for cold water shaving is that it's a wash. There's absolutely no difference in the closeness of the shave or the amount of irritation that I get, but my warm water shaves are more comfortable for me. So I don't think that I will ever be repeating this. If I do, there'll be a specific reason. I might want to repeat this in another month or so just to see if I get the same results. I'm not certain of that, but I can tell you right now that as far as I'm concerned, the cold water deal that everybody is talking about and raving about, enjoy yourself, but it's not for me, and I'm not going to be doing it. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that it was informative. To be honest with you, though, the only way for you to know for sure whether the cold water shaves are for you or not for you is to try. And I've tried. I'll pass. Your mileage may vary. God bless you and have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.